Hey there everybody, Kendall here, and I missed Conscious Coffee this morning. You might have noticed if you follow me, if you follow Conscious Coffee, you may have noticed that I was not on this morning. And here it is noon in Dallas, and I just got done doing an appointment. And I was just, like, what am I going to talk about? Like, I have to get my Conscious Coffee out because it's my commitment to myself to make sure that I get Conscious Coffee done as much as possible, at least 5 days a week, and also getting my article out every single day. So it's just that little bit of commitment of the things that I need to do to keep myself moving in the right direction. But with that also comes, with that commitment and that drive to self, also comes the allowance for human error and just being human. Like sometimes that happens, right? We can't be perfect all the time. Not perfect most of the time, actually perfectly imperfect. And so as I was sitting here and I was talking to one of my favorite clients, and we were just talking about systems and structures and business and all this different stuff, and putting together plans for him and working on all this stuff. And part of what came up was the allowance of accepting our limitations and seeing them for what they are, and the limitations and just being human, and how when we accept that, when we actually let ourselves just be and find that flow of the day, that we give ourselves a little bit of grace. We just give ourselves a little bit of grace in that moment. And yesterday I was talking to another client, and we were talking about grace came up there as well. And his statement to me was, sometimes it's really hard to give myself that grace. And we're extremely critical, judgmental of ourselves, is what I see and find with so many people. I know that I most certainly am a very judgmental person when it comes to my own stuff, because I always want to be on point. I always want to get it right. I don't like failure. I always want to, be on top of everything, and I can definitely get very focused on that. But that's not good. That's not healthy by any means. And it most certainly is not getting us into flow. And when we want to be conscious creators and we want to manifest that life that we want to have, that fuck yes life, well, one of the things that has to happen is that we have to allow ourselves to actually be in flow. And we tend to resist flow. Resistance to flow is just going to stop up our gateway, stop up the dam, and prevent all that goodness, all that blessing from happening and coming into our life. So today's message is just really about allowing yourself the space to have grace for yourself, to allow your humanness, to accept your limitations, because in the acceptance of limitations, you can find your flow for the day and maybe your flow for the week. And now this is not to say to completely be relaxed and to just get into a habit of allowing yourself to always fall down. No. But there are times when we have things arise, and if we force ourselves to really get into too hard of a structure, into that system, we're like, no, we have to do this, we have to do this, we have to do this. It's like, no, I cannot do anything else until this is done, when we really truly don't feel like it, when that energy really isn't there. It's just like, I write and I do conscious coffees as energy comes up in me, especially in my writing. Like sometimes I will write first thing in the morning. I try to get my writing done first thing in the morning, but sometimes I wake up and there's just nothing there. Hold on, somebody popping in here. So sometimes there's just zero creative flow, zero connection. I do not feel inspired in some moments. So in those moments, why would I push in that moment to have something come out and it not really be penetrating, not really be able to be received? Because if I'm forcing something to happen, it's kind of like, I'm going to pull sex in on this one. If you force sex to happen, and if you have a partner and you're like, no, I want to have sex, and then if your partner gives you sex but isn't really fully engaged and wanting it, is that really good sex? Sure, you might have some connection there. You might get the physical act, you're going to get the mechanics done, you might have the orgasm. But if your partner's not fully engaged and wanting it, then guess what? it's just not going to be that great, right? Because you're forcing something to happen at the wrong time. Well, the same thing is with our creative energy or with life in general, even right down to the flow of a day and to be operating on a system and a structure around things, like if you're having those things happen. If you've got your 1, 2, 3s, and I always tell people, you need to have that 3 to 5 things that you do every single day to get you to your goals. And these are the 3 to 5 things that you need to focus in on, the 3 to 5 things that you are in control of, because typically everything past those 3 to 5 things you don't really have any control over. That's God's business, that's other people's business. It has nothing to do with you. So you focus back in on these 3 to 5 things and you get those done and you accomplish them. Well, in a perfect world, they're always going to happen and according to the structure that you've given it, right? According to the schedule that you've given it. But that's in a perfect world. We don't live in a perfect world that is designed on our systems, our structures, our calendars, okay? That's not the way life happens. Other people come into play. Different things happen. You might wake up not feeling good. All this different stuff can occur. And you've got to be able to flow through that to be able to really connect back to your alignment, to your core. Because when you try to push and you try to force something to happen when it's not there, when it's truly not there, then you're going to get zero out of it and you're going to provide some really crappy connection. Whatever that connection is, or if you are not feeling it to, let's say you had decided that you were going to have lunch with a friend, and then the day comes that you are supposed to have lunch with a friend, and there's just something off inside of you. Well, if something is off inside of you and you force yourself to go just because you said that you were going to go, instead of saying, hey, I need to reschedule, then you're not really probably going to be present. There might be bitterness. Your friend's going to go, what's up with you? Like, something's not quite right. And we've all had those moments where we're sitting with somebody and we get asked 3, 4, 5 times, what's up? What's up? Is everything okay? What's up? What's up? And that's because we are presenting an energy that is saying that maybe there is something up. Maybe we're not 100% present. Maybe we're really not wanting to be there. Maybe we're there only out of duty. And when we come at things from that space of I'm here just because it is a duty, connection is lost. Love is lost. Flow is lost. We are no longer in alignment to ourselves, to God, to source. We are now trying to force something to happen, and it really is just lost energy. It is, it's pointless. It's something that now we have put out our time, our energy, maybe our money, our hearts, maybe even our physical bodies. If we come back to the sexing aspect, we've done all this different stuff and we put this out there, and at the end of the day, it really is meaningless. Versus if we had just leaned in, had a little bit of grace for ourselves, and said, it's okay. I can reschedule. I can say no here because I woke up and I'm a no to this. Even though I was a yes to it 3 days ago, a week ago, this morning I woke up and I was a no to this. It doesn't matter what reason your no is. If you change on that, then you have to just get right with that. And it's okay to change your opinion, your feelings, your schedule, to, really just allow that flow to happen, because you're going to feel a lot more confident, a lot better about yourself, more connected. And in that connecting to yourself, you're going to feel better. And that's what it really is all about. How good do you feel? Because the better you feel, that's going to be an energy that comes out to everybody else. And that means that everybody that comes into your sphere is going to feel better, because they're not going to be going, what's wrong? What's wrong? Everything okay with you? Something feels off with you today. Are you sure you're okay? You sure? Yeah. If you're getting a lot of that, that means that there really is something off. And take it from me, who hates to be asked, are you okay? And anybody who knows me, I know that Addison's watching, she'd be like, yep, don't ask her if she's okay. Don't ask her if she's okay, because I hate being asked if I'm okay. But at the same time, I do recognize it, that in those moments that somebody is asking me if I'm okay, that there is something in my energy, in my attitude, in the way I am being perceived, that is sending out this message that there is something going on. So maybe I'm not consciously aware of it. So take that to heart there. That normally what that is that we're not consciously aware of it quite yet, or we're not wanting to admit it, or we're not knowing how to process it or to communicate it. And that's the kind of stuff that you have to start to just lean in and look at. But the first step to any of it is to allow yourself the grace to be human, to have limitations, to need to change things up, to change a yes to a no and a no to a yes, and just really be right with that. Because the more you can get right with your yeses and right with your nos, the more in alignment you are with yourself, with source, with God, and the more right things will come your way. Because in that certainty of your yes and your no is where everything manifests from. So if you are wavering around about stuff, realize that the universe can't bring to you anything because you're not sending out a clear message, a clear desire. And it really is about having that clarity and sending out the right message. But that also means that you have to be willing to love yourself enough to know that you are worthy, no matter what kind of disappointment you might be to anybody else or how you might perceive that. Because the ultimate disappointment is to not be clear. The ultimate disappointment is to try to force yourself to do something that is not in alignment with yourself. That is a really, really big disappointment. And it is definitely not coming from a space of love, from God, or anything good. All right, Addison, what did you say? Love this grace message today. I did this on a coaching program I bought the other day. Oh, really? Awesome. See, it is. I think it's a season of just kind of finding grace. Grace keeps coming up for me in this season a lot, because I see a lot of people really tugging and pulling and just not giving themselves space to be human and going, I need to do this, or I should have done that, or I could have done that, and all this different stuff. But it really is about just kind of like, yes, Addison's going, let it go. And Nick, thank you for your comment, grace and ease. And yeah, I mean, it is about the grace and ease, to have that ease with yourself. But we do that through the process of just allowing ourselves to be human, which, it's just acceptance of self. And that acceptance of self is also love of self. And as tough as that might be, it's also stating that you are worthy. You are worthy of allowing yourself a day off. You are worthy of changing your mind. You are worthy of saying yes to you, and to, yes, that might be selfish to say, am I a yes here? Maybe it means that I'm a no to you. Maybe it means that, that I need to change things in this moment. But as long as you come back to that yes, that's going to allow you to be the best possible you that you can be in any given moment. And yes, there are difficult decisions and statements that get made when you come at it with that kind of perspective, but allow yourself the grace to make those changes for yourself, because it is for the highest and best good, not only for you, but for everybody that you are coming in contact with. Because if you're not showing up 100%, if you're not present, if you're not there because you want to be there, you're only there out of duty, out of responsibility, then that is felt, and it is definitely, most definitely not a positive for anybody at all to show up in those situations. So this is actually going to be a really short conscious coffee. I had to get that cleared out after I was talking to my client today. Grace came up again, and he made the comment of that he's been 5 minutes late to our appointments consistently over the last 3-4 appointments, and I'm going, that's cool. That's just, you're in the flow. And he was explaining to me how important it was that, like, this morning his routine had, if he had forced himself to make it here directly on time, how much more stress that would have put on him, where he didn't feel the stress coming because he knew that he was allowed to be in flow, and that was actually part of the coaching, was to learn about flow. So and he's like, a month ago, 2 months ago, I would have been pushing myself to make it here on time and even be a little bit early, but that would have caused his whole day to completely shift and be more negative than positive. And as I told him, I said, yeah, I'd rather you be 5-10 minutes late and we just get into the flow of that, because that forced I've got to be there on time would make you probably walk through my door with your arms closed and closed off to everything and being like, grumpy because he had stressed himself out. So then there would have been a wall there for me to meet, instead of this beautiful open soul that came through the door with a smile on his face and eager to share all of his growth with me, versus, damn it, I feel bad because I had to force this and I had to do that. So the charge of that forcing versus having the grace to just be 5 minutes late, So look at those opportunities in your life and realize, yeah, I think we all need to get on island time, as it's called, right? Let's get on island time, because the more you let it go, the more chill you can be with your life and not force. Yes, there are things that you need to definitely stay on point with and show up for timely, for sure. But then really, truly, about 80% of your life, you can probably find a little bit more flow in there, and just let things be a little bit more. Communicate, of course, communicate, but at the same time, allow for that flow to happen, because flow is always going to get you to your goals with the most ease. So there you have it, guys. Grace and ease, letting it go, allowing for your limitations, loving your limitations even, really just respecting them and seeing them for what they are in any given moment. And that's a really, really powerful thing to do, because everything else is going to just block up your dam. So I love you guys. As always, you can follow me at www.kendalwilliams.com. You can follow me on here. Oh, hey, I see a whole bunch of people popping on. Sorry, you got to go back and listen again. And I'm going to go ahead and jump off of here. There is going to be, later today, I'm going to make some announcements for some really cool things. All the promo stuff is ready. So you are going to see his, hers, and ours, an academy course come out with 69 videos, over 8 hours of training for men, women, and couples that I am launching later this afternoon. And also my Boss Life 500 for January is coming out, which is an intensive whole month of coaching that I am doing at a stupid ass price, but I'm trying to make sure to help everybody out there who normally can't afford me, who normally can't get on. I want them to be able to come in and really just start your 2019 year off with a bang. Like, shoot for the stars and let me help you get you to exactly where you want to be and give you that foundation on the front side, because within 4 weeks we can move some fucking amazing mountains, okay, guys? And this is an opportunity that's only going to be available through the month of January, and actually not even through the month of January, because it is focused on coaching for January, which means that it is launching today. And this promo, this opportunity, I'm only taking on 10 clients, because I want to really be able to dedicate time and focus to these 10 amazing clients. It is one-on-one coaching. So this is not a group coaching. It is not, Facebook community coaching. There's none of that going on. We're going to be one-on-one. So this is the VIP stuff that you are getting at basically group coaching cost. Okay, so definitely take advantage of it. If you have a friend that you think, hey, they could really use, some signature coaching. And we're not just talking about sex. We're not just talking about law of attraction. We're not just talking about health. It is focused in on what you want it to be focused in on. So the mountains that you need to move is where we're going to focus with the Boss Life 500. It's about you becoming the boss of your life in 2019 and getting that kickstart to shoot you to the moon and back with the coaching plan. So check that out. Boss Life 500 coming out later today as well, and also the His, Hers, and Ours Academy. So check all that stuff out while it is here, and I will catch you guys tomorrow with another Conscious Coffee. As always, stop existing, start living. Love you guys. See you tomorrow.